is it hard for you to wear so many hats, not only as a head coach, but a mentor, a dad, a brother, a scout, and a head coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Because you're not just in any organization. You're in the organization to where you're building and keeping the legacy as it is.
You know, I think that's one of the things that I love about our approach to business here in Pittsburgh. You know, we don't have a lot of infrastructures. We don't hide behind titles and so forth. We don't have a lot of senior vice presidents and infrastructure and things of that nature. But what it does provide us is capable guys really get an opportunity to grow and to have input in a variety of areas. And that's one of the things that I've really embraced over 15 years. You know, my job description is head football coach, man, but, you know, no job too small, no process too insignificant, man. I just try to involve myself in everything, formally and informally, because I think that, you know, I'm called to do that. And increasingly so the longer I'm here. The more experience I have, it enables me to see things more clearly and make more prudent and quick decisions and to be able to spread myself out over a wider area. I also like it because over a 12-month calendar, man, the job never really gets stale. You know, I just came out of the draft and, you know, I'm very much involved in that and enjoy getting shoulder to shoulder with Kevin and catching up and gaining perspective on that. And now, as I'm sure you remember, man, I'm downstairs a lot, spending time with our players, man, getting to know the new ones in an informal way. I'm not even talking about football. I'm talking about the man and you know, what's important to them and where are they in life and what are some major non-football decisions that they have in the offseason and just where they are, man. No matter what you do, man, it's a platform for ministry, man. I'm a believer in that. And, man, just coaching football and being able to be in the lives of these dynamic young people, man, and helping them gain some clarity about what's important to them and the things they need to hold near and dear. Man, I'm called to do it, but more importantly than that, man, it's something that I love doing, man. You'll laugh now, but shoot, my boys, man, are 21 and 20, man. They're in college. And so, you know, as a dad, man, I got a lot of free time. I got a lot of free dad energy, man. Because my boys, you know, they call and check on me now. You know what I mean? So I get an opportunity to dad some of these guys, man, and man, I'm appreciative that they allow me into that space. And so yeah, there's a lot of hats that I wear, but you know, I'm called to do it. I enjoy doing it. I think it's as much a part of the job and the game as a strategic component in blocking and tackling. Because as you know, man, these guys have very few people in their lives that don't want anything from them, but just want what's best for them.
Correct.
And I pride myself in being one of those people for them.
Well, Ike, let me steal a question you always ask our guests. And you've been announcing since 1992. What motivates you to keep going?
I think I go into this every year and I think to myself, this is all I ever dreamed of doing. This is not a cliche. I was 8 years old. My parents asked me what I wanted to do for a living in separate conversations. My father was a stand-up comedian. My mother was a singer. They were entertainers. It was not the normal life. I did not have a normal upbringing by any stretch. And they asked me what I wanted to do. And I told them I wanted to be a sportscaster. And my father said to me, well, that's what you'll do. No hesitation, no question of why would you want to do that? Absolute positive reinforcement in the moment. I tell my mother, what do you want to do? I said, I want to be a sportscaster. She says, great. Well, that's what you'll do. That's very empowering. When you're 8 years old and you're told by your parents that you can do what it is you said that you want to do, not the negative, not the, no, come up with a backup plan. This is 1977. So this was not a normal answer for a kid. So I think back to that a lot, especially right around this time when the season is coming. I recognize how fortunate I am that I get to do this and I get to juggle NFL TV on Sundays, Thursday night football on the radio. And then once the NBA starts and college basketball starts, I'm running around, and it's a full-time gig. It's a lot of moving pieces. So when you take the plunge that every broadcast matters, if it's a random Tuesday, the Nets are playing the Sacramento Kings, to me, that's just as important as the Steelers and the Bengals on a Sunday. Why? Because my name is attached to it. Somebody is forming their opinion about the job that I've done. They don't care about how I got there, if my flight was delayed, if the hotel I slept in had thin walls and I heard some dude next to me snoring all night with his sleep apnea. None of that matters. It does not matter. They put my room next to the ice machine. Someone came in to get ice at 3 a.m. Why? I don't know. Why do they need ice at 3 a.m. into a bucket? Why is that waking me up? It makes no sense. It happens. Right. It's real. And then you got to do the game the next day. Nobody cares. Right. They just want the finished product.
Correct.
You gotta live up to the standard every game. So whatever pressure I put is self-induced. I care a lot. I want it to be really good. I want to make my partner look good. I want to make my broadcast team look good. And that's the mentality that I have for every game. By the way, for every interview.
Right.
If it's a podcast, I care. You guys are taking the time to have me on. I'm not going to lay an egg. I want to be a good guest. I want to be interesting. That's got to be your focal point. If you're looking at any of these events as throwaways, then you're in the wrong business.
Oh, man, you preaching today, man. God.
I'm fired up this morning. I don't know about you, but like the hair standing up on my arm over here. I promise.
Man, you got me just reflecting. I feel like I'm in church right now. For real, man.
I picked a job that I could do anything that was interesting. So I could write books, I could work on movies, I could do charitable foundations. My current project is taking healing modalities and breakthroughs in biomed, new treatments and new machines that, number one, can help stimulate energy with an athlete in critical situations. If you look 5 months ago, 4 NFL playoff games came down to the last play. Impossible, right? The odds against that were astronomical. But what it shows you is the level of competition is very narrow. And a third of the games may be blowouts, but is there a way to hype up focus and energy and productivity in critical moments? So that's first. Second of all, because of the cap system now, if you lose your left tackle, the backup to him is not somebody just a little bit worse. It's a precipitous drop because that player is playing for the minimum, right? So if you could get players back quicker. So I'm talking about hyperbaric oxygen and stem cells and light stem and cognitive processes like RTMS. So I'm going to bring those as a package to pro sports, college sports. And then once you validate it, every person in this country who wants to have more energy and mental focus, they've now got amazing techniques to stimulate this.
For me, you've been very motivational off of what you've been through, but then if you just look at it, it's a reason why things happen. It's a reason why you came out with this book, The Walking Miracle, because you truly are a walking miracle. You know, when you talk about alopecia as a kid, a disease, when you talk about scoliosis, and the doctor say you can't play, when you talk about what happened with you on the field playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers, for me, it's like, dang, he always doing what they say he can't do, or he always beating the odds. And people really wouldn't have known this without, one, when they read this book, or me reading this book. But you're bigger than football, and you're bigger than what people think you are. So, yeah, things do happen for a reason, Shay. But I just personally want to tell you, like, bro, you always inspired me. Always. Like, every time I'm feeling like a little down, I'm like, I look at Shay on Instagram, I'm like, okay, if Shay can do it, I better do it. I better do it. But just reading your story, looking at your story, bro, like, you've always been somebody who's overcame. You know, this way before football, since a kid, you always been that person. So, bro, keep motivating. I just had to get that off my chest. So keep motivating and inspiring, bro.
No, thank you. What's crazy is, like, and I used to tell Larry this, like, one thing that helped me become, you know, a great football player, or even, you know, stay like positive and push through situations like this, is just time with, like, y'all, time with the people that were great at their job, and people that became, you know, Hall of Famers and greats. Like, to me, like, you're great in the Steelers' eyes, but to me, you're great in my eyes too, because there will be times where Larry, me and Ike will be doing something, and most people ain't getting back up until 12 p.m. Ike up at 6 a.m. working out. You be like, man, how does this guy have this type of energy? But it just showed me, like, work ethic that people have. And it showed me, like, hey, man, if somebody like Ike can get up and have a great time at night, but still get on the grind in the morning, it showed me that no matter what you're dealing with, like, you can be having fun and then you're going to have a terrible morning, or you can be having a terrible night and then you have to still get up in the morning. It showed me that, you know, like, the greats, the people that are awesome at their jobs, awesome at what they do, and where they want to be at, this is the effort that they had to put in. And that's the type of stuff I think about when it comes to, like, when it came to rehab and when it came to, like, just working even before I got hurt. And that's kind of how I got that type of mindset.